say hi to YouTube because this will be on YouTube at some point. And I do want to preface with this. I'm probably gonna gloat a lot. All right, you can hear a lot of gloating because for me this is vindication. Okay, it's been long term. Lazo would say a long term payoff. I feel vindicated. I'm not actually happy that like people are upset with Tower God and Tower God isn't living up to what I believe its potential is. I'm not happy about that. But I've been getting yelled at for years, telling me you don't read the series, drop the series, blah blah blah. And I'm like, look how slowly but surely how many people have come around, especially the native speakers of this webtoon, which is very. I know Noblesse and Tower God were two that I know were really big over there at some point. So yeah, the Koreans seem to be very unmoved by this. So we're gonna go to the Reddit that talks about it a little bit, and then we're gonna go on not what's it called? Namuverse, I think. Namu Wiki? Shit, I forgot what it's called. Let me look at it. Yeah, Namu Wiki. We're gonna look at that, and then we have to use. Unfortunately, we have to use Google Translate. I only speak French and French. I almost speak French and Korean. I only speak English and French. I don't speak Korean, so I can't read it, but. We're gonna go off the assumption that the translations are like pretty decent and that the information represented in this Reddit is mostly accurate. I'm sure some of them are just talking out their rear end and don't know anything, but let's hop right in. It should be interesting.
A little something like eeny, meeny, right from the beginning. Smoke a little pack, but the pack never timid. Church, but I'm seeing it. Curse when I'm winning. She need a new back. When it's back, I'ma bend it. Slap up some guinea. Pass me the hen it. Watch a nigga black slipper yak, I'ma quit it. Swerve in the Benzie. Perfume is Fendi. Bob and move fast, real fast like I'm Ricky. That's 'cause I'm pretty. Came from the dirt. Shovel up a nigga can't handle the work. Ooh, y'all, swing with it first. Young white girl like a ramble.
So, actually, I'm just gonna hold it. An evaluation of Tower God according to NamuWiki. NamuWiki is the biggest Wikipedia style site in Korea, so it's generally a good source of general sentiment on products. And for TOG, the sentiment is as follows. General sentiment for the series has steadily gotten worse since the Hell Train began. That's interesting to me. Why do you guys think that is? Do you think because it went on for so long?
Maybe. I could definitely see that. It's just a really long arc.
Mm-hmm. Because
yeah, probably one.
I remember. I know that the one arc during that whole like because I kind of think of the floor of death, the Hell Train as a saga more so as I think of a specific arc. Like the name hunt station is an arc within the Hell Train saga to me. If that makes sense? That's kind of how I see it.
Right.
But yeah, I do remember people having yeah. I remember people really not liking the Floor of Death weekly. I remember that. That was a thing. It was pretty contentious. Yep. Mm-hmm. People were digging a wreck being there. They thought he undermined attention because he was like literally number 4 in the tower and things of that nature. Some people thought the fact he just brought that syringe to separate Hell Joe from the Red Theresa was like a bit much for them. So that's interesting, but I didn't have any smoke with Tower God up until this point. Not saying it was perfect or flawless, but up until this point I was fine. Were you guys fine or not?
Nothing major. Yeah, I mean I was with you every week, so yeah, it was nothing major. Until we got to the last station, that's when we kind of looked at it and was like, huh? Mm-hmm. What's going on here? But yeah, before then, yeah, there's probably some ups and downs, but not really anything that we really like majorly complained about ever.
Yeah. And yeah,
I mean, before the last station.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying before the last station, probably like easily my favorite web. It was like one of my favorite series ever. It was just like 3 elite and things, but yeah.
Okay. So where was I? There was a momentary reversal in opinion of this degradation and popularity boom due to the last stop arc. So that's interesting. So they liked the last station. That's where I started having issues with the series. So I guess we're a little reversed there. Season 3, however, has seen the largest amount of criticism and befuddlement from readers. Befuddlement is a great word for this. Reasons being the setting, the out-of-control power inflation, baffling battle composition that makes Noblesse not seem ridiculous. Very interesting comparison there because I don't think Noblesse fights were ever hard to follow. Noblesse was just very formulaic. I have different issues. But anyways, not a Noblesse stream. Belittling character motivations, actions, especially from Bam, and the overall work has lost the characteristics that made it stand out. And I think that last part there is very significant. Would you guys agree?
I mean, we've kind of said that this is not the same webtoon than when we started.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is, I mean, it is what it is now. Like I said, I'm not really cared to boom on this series much of it because I've just accepted that it's changed. It's not the same anymore,
Mhm.
and that makes it a lot easier to enjoy in some ways. But I'm just here with this because this is interesting.
Yeah. There is even an entire page dedicated purely to criticizing Bam to the point that by the second half of the Best War, it's not uncommon to see comments on Naver that the family heads, Jihad and Rachel, are 100% in the right. So
I'm crying.
I find all of those
Hey,
interesting.
man.
So we'll go through some of the comments here. I want to go to the bottom where it kind of starts. But you guys, anything what you want to say before we get started with the comments?
No, I feel like I'm talking a lot,
No.
so I just kind of want to go through it.
Okay. Raziel pulls up.
Yeah.
Arc is over. Absolutely. Befuddle is a great word. Yep. I didn't fancy the last station beyond meeting the data versions of the. No. You're thinking of. I think the last station is the last arc in season 2, where Bam and them pull up to. Wait. Damn, I don't know what floor it is, but that's where
That's
you
when
met
the
Caliban and stuff,
Jihad's army and Caliban,
yeah, and Hodgins. The 3 orders. That's what the 3 orders. I think you think of the hidden floor. The hidden floor.
43, right?
Yeah. Okay, he corrected himself. CBL forever. Jihad is right. Yes, sir. Anti-Shield, and we'll see. All right. So wait, is this the OP? No, OP is what Swooz is. Sorry, let me just make sure. That means the person who made this thread, right? Yeah, Swooz is. Okay, 9 days ago. I don't know. I don't read it enough. I won't lie to you. I come to Reddit for degeneracy. Anyways, even then, it's not even accurate in my opinion. Wait. Does it start here? I'd say Caliban is. What the fuck am I? I don't even know where to start. Where's the comment? What are they replying
The
to?
comment's the beginning. It's the first one.
So this
Well,
is
it's
so
like
this is the first comment here. I'm highlighting.
no, it's the where it says just. I mean, where do you want to start from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
It's should Bam is compared to Suzaku from Code Geass, like the one above that one.
Oh, where's that?
The one above that one.
I don't see it. Am I
The one
blind?
you highlight.
Oh, this one.
Go. No, the one above that one, right there. You just passed it.
Oh, should add that the character Bam is most compared to. Sorry, guys. It's Suzaku from Code Geass. Like, okay, these are the replies. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm slow, bro. I'd say Caliban is much closer to Suzaku. Wait, Suzaku is Lelouch's best friend. Okay, or whatever. The guy who's like, okay, live. Okay. Suzaku's ideology. He's firmly loyal to the Jihad Empire and believes that in absolute authority, but wants to improve it as much as he can from within. Bam doesn't really have an ideology other than being generally benevolent and prioritizing his loved ones above all else. I don't see the comparison. Do you guys? With Suzaku and Bam?
Watch Code Geass.
Or even
I've
Caliban.
seen
Even
it.
Caliban. I don't see
I've
it.
seen it, but that's not a comparison I would make. But the Caliban one is a little bit better, but still not.
Yeah, it's more apt, but no. Still no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I don't
interesting.
like that.
That's interesting.
like
So
that
they
at all.
so I guess they see or perceive Suzaku as not a good character, possibly, or like a not interesting one.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like Suzaku. I'm guessing from what I know about Suzaku is kind of him being naive and him kind of like flip flopping around.
Okay.
It's like Suzaku is kind of a character that tried to change things from the inside, and then he jumps to working with Lelouch, and he just does a bunch of things, and he's like, oh, I'm not gonna let anybody die. I'm not gonna let this happen and that happen. So I guess they're approaching it from that standpoint. I still don't like it, but I guess that's how they're kind of approaching. They're like Suzaku's kind of like naive to the point where it's like really annoying, and also he's just like really strong, and it feels like for like no reason. So I'm guessing those are the two things.
Well, I guess they clarify here. They're not referring to their philosophy, but as a comparison of position in the narrative. But I still don't agree with that.
Okay, so there you go.
I still don't
agree.
Yeah, because these stories are they're like.
This is
one
so
of those,
different.
It's such a surface level comparison where I could understand it on a like a first layer, but the deeper I go into it, the more I'm going to find that they don't overlap. Personally speaking, so. Even then, it's not really accurate in my opinion. Suzaku is functionally an antagonist and a rival to the MC who has a similar end goal but opposite means of achieving it. I don't see what about Bam is similar to him other than maybe surface level personality traits. I'm kind of in agreement there. So, okay. Later, they're gonna have to tell me where the comment starts and what's replying to, what they're replying to. I don't know. I'm looking at. Is it lacking lack?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to start from the bottom or like you just?
I'm going up, yeah, because the bottom I put it from newest to oldest or oldest to newest. So I think we're starting from 8 days ago, and then the comments. Wait, hold on. Am I right? I don't even know. I don't read it, bro.
That. I think the newest ones are the
When I read
beginning
it, I
ones.
just started on best comments. To be honest with you, so I don't know how you want to play this, but I just started from the top, went to best comments. That's how I play.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just go
easier?
from the best.
You think that's easier? Just straight back to best.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
or-
I don't really think it matters. Yes, just start with best.
All right.
Yeah, that was.
So we
Start
got,
with best or top.
all right. Maybe I'm wrong because I've been read. What the hell did I just do? Binge read most of Tower of God. But now I feel like everything is so slow. This Nest arc was nearly 100 chapters of the pointless stuff. Calvin was on the good side, then Switch. Yes was on the bad side, then Switch, but nothing came of both. All that game and cat tower and good fishing stuff for nothing. Honestly felt like filler. Could have scrapped most of this and just made the Nest like 30, 50 chapters. Someone said, thank you for speaking the truth. TOG was very slow since season 2. The workshop arc especially, then at the end, I don't agree with that. It dragged out a lot. The Hell Train was ridiculously long. Let's not talk about... a long doesn't mean dragged out always, though. Because sometimes you need the time to let it build. But let's not talk about that ish with big beaters in the hidden floor. Yeah, that was made. You guys know I didn't care about anyone who wasn't real in that shit. Baptist, all that, don't care. You're cold. You're not real. I don't fucking care about y'all.
Well, I will say though, I did
Respect
agree
that,
with
John.
the kind of the comment that the Caliban switched to the good side and Yasarachi on the bad side didn't switch and nothing came of it.
Yeah.
I agree with that aspect of their comment because it was kind of like, what was all of this for? Kind of, but yeah, that's about all. About this being pointless. Nah, it wasn't pointless because Bam achieved his goal. He got his master back. And some other things happened. So it wasn't pointless. But a lot of things that happened, things didn't feel like they got proper conclusions. I'll say that. A lot of things that happened in this arc, things were happening and it like varied interest, but nothing seemed to come of it that was too shocking or changing in any way. I'll say it like that, I guess.
Okay.
I do agree though that this arc could probably have been way shorter than 100 chapters if that's the right count. But yeah, you know.
Okay.
I don't know if it's,
Maybe not 30.
100 chapters. Is it really that long? I don't think it was that long. Can't be, right?
You know, I think that's about right actually.
Okay.
So yeah, there's like no point in this arc having 100 chapters, especially like you know.
It's inefficient. It's inefficient. It could have been done more efficiently.
It could have. Yeah, I agree with that.
If we were gonna have this long, should have been more one-on-ones or something.
Wait, I'm sorry. When we're talking about Hell Train, are we talking about the entire process of like all the other floors included in it, or like?
Yeah.
No. I don't think they're talking about Hell Train when they say 100 chapters. Though I think they're talking about.
No, I think you're talking about earlier. I think he's talking about earlier because earlier they said the Hell Train was really slow.
Because I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know. I think
Thank you for a subscription.
Hell Train took us through how many floors in the tower?
I don't remember, but it is long. Like if you think about the Hell Train saga in general, it's long. It's long.
Yeah, I think it should be based off like what we've seen of other floors.
Wait, hold on.
Like,
let me go back and read stuff.
Because when we think of like floor 2 is an entire season, we get back on floor 20. Floor 20, the floor 20 thing is what, like 20 chapters, probably. And then like all the other floors, then we get like the Hell Train, which is like we're going through like 10, 15 floors back to back. I think it's fairly. Like lengthwise, it's fairly fine, but could certain things have been shortened or longer? Could time have been allocated better? Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. So I'm reading the comment. He said Tower God was very slow in season 2, but then the guy in the very first comment said the Nest arc was like nearly 100 chapters of points.
Oh, the Nest.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, the Nest. Yeah, that's a different combo.
Yeah. I think the only thing with I didn't feel like the only time I felt like Tower God was kind of slow was during the hidden floor. And that's because they were talking a lot more than actually fighting. It was a lot more exposition based and a lot more like lore based than anything that we were doing at up to that point while we were reading it ongoing. So that felt kind of slow, but other than
the payoff was definitely worth it. Yeah, I agree, but the payoff was definitely worth it for the hidden floor though. So it's kind of just like, you know,
I think it's important to mention though what the problem that some people have when something being slow sometimes. Oh, what's up, man? yes, I love my emote. It is great. I need more like that. Unmoved. But I think the issue sometimes is for some people, I don't think they understand what they mean when they're saying slow. But for them, they're not getting the payoff they want, so they perceive it that way. Here's what I mean. Use Kubera, for example. Nothing's really meaningless. Even if you're like, damn it, she's dragging her feet here, so to speak, maybe, and she's taking her time to kind of craft this like setup, you get the payoff after. So even if it took a while and it was slow, you feel gratification when it comes to fruition, when it comes full circle. We get things like the Yama and Yasracha conflict being set to be this big thing and fizzling out with a whimper. And you're like, what was the effing point? You see what I'm saying? I think that is very frustrating in Tower of God, because a lot of those things happen. Like, you're like, oh, Caliban and Karaka versus Caliban because of Hadjin's song. It's like, what became of that? Then he's like, oh, like Boric. It's so nonsensical sometimes. So it's very frustrating, especially if you have a very rational mind. It's going to infuriate you more. Some people read more for emotion and stuff like that, and they're not going to go that deep, and that's fine. I get it. And if you're a complete new reader and you're binge reading it, you're not gonna see it the same way as long-term readers. So I can understand why new readers who read something like One Piece or Tower of God are really high on it. They had to have the week-to-week experience and kind of talk about it and really, really be a part of the community in that way, where like we really believe that Tower of God became something very different in the third season. It's not what it was from the first two. Like, based on the breadcrumb trail and the way that it was being set up, you never thought we'd be here. This is not this kind of the type of narrative Tower of God was at least presenting itself to be. There was a paradigm shift somewhere, I'd argue. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but yeah.
No, I feel definitely.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I don't have anything to change.
Yep, SIU portrays the foundation of that he himself sets. It's annoying. I agree. All right, so let's see. Workshop. The workshop arc especially dragged it a lot. It was ridiculously long. Hell Train. There were new flaws in season 3, but you don't think it's being slow as one of them? I don't know if I'd call season 3 slow, so I may probably agree with that. Just mid for a lot of it. The workshop, half of the nest. The Hell Train's 100 chapters. Blah blah. I don't care about this. Oh, Dr. Bonehead's here. I'm jumping in here late. Oh, there you go. The nest so far has roughly 76 chapters, 49 to 170, to 49 to 125. As of right now, the workshop battle had roughly 72, 38 to 110. I can only assume the nest will end soon. I'm not sure what you said is correct. Then could be wrong while listening to your opinions and discussion. There you go. Maybe I should start commenting on Reddit. I don't though. Come to the channel. Come to the channel. Yes, you're right. Numbers were off. Maybe because SAU took some breaks. It felt longer. Didn't want to say anything since I know you're. Oh, me personally, I think there's so. Wait, I know you don't go. You're not the power scaling, but I'll have to see you do a video on how strong you think the verse is. Maybe bringing others like Nida. Oh shoot. You know, sometimes I'm shocked. Sometimes I'm shocked when they know who I am. I really am. I won't lie to you. Me personally, they think so high tier, but people think they max out at Enryu being.
But this is the
he's going like he's going full like, like destructive capability of fork. Okay, I'm not here for that. Okay, it's not uncommon to see comments on neighbor that the family heads Jihad and Rishon to the right, dude. Those Koreans go hard on irrational hate. Except those saying Rachel's in the right, those people are factually correct. 100% agree. Why that are correct? Is it true that they have a lot of irrational hate? I don't know if that's true. I've only heard this from the gaming side of from like League of Legends and stuff like that, where like apparently they're like really harsh on games, but I don't follow their culture like that, so I'm ignorant.
To me, it's just kind of honestly, but the problem is that it felt like we got when we were doing the Chicken Love Club and we were the kind of like the first people. I don't want to say we were the first people, but we were the first people that I remember that we started having complaints about the series. It felt like nobody else was having complaints. And I can't say that they weren't at all, but it felt like it still had a super strong positivity, thing over there. It was really big over there. And then the anime happened and all that. But I want to say over the past like 2 years post, I'll just call it after COVID. After COVID happened, that's when everybody started being like, I don't know. Ooh, this is not as great as we thought it was.
They said I got clout. I'm gonna be like Buggy. That's crazy. Hey man, I like Buggy. I'm cool with it. Yeah, I think the biggest issue ultimately is I think a lot of the long-term fans definitely feel betrayed by just like, because I'm gonna read Haku's comment after, but he said something that I like wholeheartedly agree with, and we'll get into that. But all right, let's read some more comments here. So Sloppy Joe, you're here. I know you were in the I know you were in the chat earlier. I don't know if you're still here. So it's time for your comment, bro. The Korean online toxicity is next level. The West can't compete. Really? I'm actually shocked by that. I don't, but maybe that's because that's just my own personal bias. I only see the West complain, so to speak. So, poor SIU, the Korean fans are truly next level. If that's the only stuff SIU reads, I can imagine not feeling the best. Imagine if you're trying to branch out your story, try something different, all while spending hours in pain over the story you're drawing, only to read all that hate. I mean, that's life. When you do work, you get criticized for it. You get praise, you get adoration, you get paid, you get criticized for it. You know, I don't think that's not.
You and me have to talk about this off
I guess
screen,
it
but
depends.
just go with that.
I guess it depends on what they mean by hate. Because if he's getting consistent like death threats and shit, then I would say that's
Okay. Yeah. Completely unwarranted, and that's always overboard. True. Fair
And
enough.
I think what Ben saying in the comments is kind of a joke, but kind of serious. Because like bullying in Korea is like even like from like a kid's perspective, like it's like pretty bad over there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't know if it's like over exaggerated, like in the media they show from like TV shows and shit. Like like they like literally be like beating the dog shit out of people in bathrooms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there like from what I've seen and heard, there is a certain degree of like it actually is very bad over there. So like I can somewhat imagine how that can be transferable to like certain people's work and stuff like that.
Mm. Interesting.
On screen, but you and me at some point are gonna have to talk about, because it's happening in sports too. This thing where everybody just feels like you can't criticize anybody who does anything on a professional level, and I don't get it. I don't understand why people feel like, oh, because somebody's doing this at the highest level, that means they're devoid of criticism. I don't get that mentality, but I don't want to talk about that now. That's like a bigger conversation.
I actually, I mean, the way the comments stated, it kind of makes it seem like he only gets hate. I'm pretty sure Steve gets way more love than hate. It's just, you're seeing more criticism nowadays. But he definitely probably gets a lot of love as well. But yeah.
You gotta take the good with the bad. Well, I mean, fair enough. If he's getting unwarranted hate, I can understand that being annoying and whatnot. But Vince, I actually kind of want to talk about that. Since you brought it up, it just makes sense to me because it's this I want to make it clear that to a certain degree I understand. For example, okay, like I get it. Like if you never played basketball ever and you're like a part of the analytical community, what do they call it? Analysts, whatever, I don't know what they're called over there. The number crunchers, your Daryl Morey's, whatever the case may be, right? I understand sometimes when people are like, yo, you never played the game, so like be quiet. But a lot of those guys understand the game from a theoretical standpoint. If they've been around it for a long time, I do think they understand it and they understand what their numbers mean and how it relates to the game. I think you still need both the eye test, watch it, the context plus numbers to kind of get the full story. But I can get it because like for certain things, like for example, I want you to be and look the part for certain things. If I'm somebody who's coming to get trained to be in good weight, you better not be 5'8" and 380 pounds. I'm not. You don't live that life. You're not going to help me get fit. And sometimes when I criticize something, people will be like, well, like, you can't do anything better. Like, oh, writing is hard, blah, blah. I'm like, I've always said that, I admit that. But you can't even use it against me because I have published work. You know what I'm saying? Remember for the 100 video, I started off by talking about the things that I've published and like my background in education and whatnot. Where it's like, I felt the need to do that because I thought somebody was going to criticize me at the level like, well, you never made a manga before. How would you know? So I do actually think that is a problem that some people do have. And you're right. It is becoming more and more prevalent throughout. I do think some of the criticism and hate is irrational and it's not very logical. But I think that you should, for the most part, concede and listen to experts on certain things. But just because you're not an expert doesn't mean you shouldn't have a voice.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna compare this to the sports thing real quick. Okay, because I was listening to a podcast and they were basically kind of confirmation bias, confirming how I felt, but they took it to levels that even I didn't think about as far as like explaining. So I'm gonna just explain this to the thing, because there's a big war, if y'all don't know it, like in sports right now. This whole thing between new media and old media. First of all, I would like to say that's all dumb. They're all media. Second of all, I was listening to this podcast, and they were basically explaining that like sometimes it feels like players and fans don't even understand the fundamental job of what the media is supposed to be doing in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
If me and Nye are playing basketball, and Nye shoots 4 of 18 and I shoot 2 of 16, we have bad games. Call it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
We play like shit. We were terrible. But the problem that happens in sports a lot of the time is there are certain media members, especially the ones on TV, for entertainment purposes. The problem is it goes too far because they stick to that narrative and they never hop off. They can't. You're supposed to be kind of a balance between talking about the good and the bad. If somebody plays bad, it's your obligation to say they play bad. They play good, supposed to play good. The problem is for both sides. There's there's people that want to stick to their agendas and narrative and never want to move off. If you do 35, 10, and 10, they're gonna talk about all the stuff that Nye didn't do. Nye put 35, 10, and 10 on the board. They're gonna be like, oh, but he didn't hit the last 2 free throws, stuff like that.
Someone said just say Skip Bayless. But keep going.
But it's more than just him, because there's so many of them. They don't even know what they're gonna say. So I don't want to just. But obviously, a lot of people think he's part of it. And also, the reason I think about this because I want to be part of the media one day. So I can't just go off and just start slandering media people. I want to be part of the media one day, even though I'm not going to agree with all of it. But also, there's this thing too that there's this belief that players can't be wrong and players can't lie, have their own confirmation bias. Give you a perfect example. Patrick Beverley went on, those shows and talked all that bad about Chris Paul. But if we go by y'all information, why should I be like, oh, he's lying? Like he's not telling the truth. He's a professional, right?
Yeah.
He's played basketball at the highest level. He's been on contenders. He's been on playoff teams. So what right do I have to criticize him? See how that's a dumb argument? Don't work like that. Players can be wrong. Yeah. If we compare that back to writing, writers can do things and be wrong. Because I'll say it like this. I don't want to go on too long of a tangent with this type of stuff. But sometimes I really sit and think about when I'm watching a movie or reading a manga or anything. Sometimes there are points when I'm watching or read something, I'm just like, okay, no, I'm not an expert in anything like this. How do I know if this is good or bad? Like, I think about that even with acting. I'm like, I'm not an actor. I don't particularly know the ins and outs of acting. How do I know if this is good acting? And the truth of the matter is, to make a long story short, you don't really like 100% can be like yes or no, because a lot of this stuff is subjective. But what I'll say is there is some logical things that you can point to when it comes to writing, especially that things just make sense. For example, how Nye always talks about when he's reading Kubert, connectivity. Everything feels like it has a purpose. It all comes back and ties to something else. Nothing feels wasted. That's good writing. You know why that's good writing? Because she wrote this with the intent of using it later and tying it back to something else. Mm-hmm. If you're just writing without a purpose, how can I say that's good writing? You may like it, but that don't mean it's good. There has to be some logic. And I feel like when it comes to manga, manhwa, webtoons, whatever, a lot of things that happen is that a lot of authors appeal to people's emotions. Like, I was reading Naruto lately, and I was like, a lot of things in Naruto is really positive. The message, the narrative, the themes he puts on the thing is really positive. So I can't say that like he wasn't trying to do something good, but that doesn't make it good just because you do that. And that's kind of a problem I feel like Tower of God happens. There are things there that is interesting, positive, good messaging. He may be talking about lost family, or he's going with Bam with introspection. He could be talking about, moral dilemmas. He's talking about real things that you can relate to in the real world. But how does he utilize that to make it good? But I'm gonna just stop there.
I got what you're saying. It's like when people be like, they tie certain things back to like they're referencing some allusions from real life and being like, this is based off this, isn't based off that, and like that's cool and great and good catch if you caught that. But it still has to tie in properly to this narrative. Just because you base this off something doesn't make it great. Just because you alluded to something in real life doesn't mean that it has any meaning inside the actual context of the narrative. So I agree with that. I hear you.
And I think that's a problem that Tower of God is kind of having. The foundation of what the story was tend to doing and how it is now, let's just be honest. Like I said, it's not the same. It's really not. It's not the same. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I was upset and very angry about that for a long time. And I've come to grips with it's just not the same story.
Yeah.
But
don't be disingenuous and act like it's not true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all. So, yeah. While I agree that TOG has its flaws and their criticism are somehow valid, I won't be surprised if TOG will end abruptly because SIU gave up halfway. I can't imagine how burdensome it is mentally and physically to be a big shot artist who created one of the most popular long-running webtoons in Korea. I won't blame SIU if he ended TOG after a few more arcs. Hopefully, this will just stay as criticism and not hate towards the author. And again, hate towards an author and stuff is too far. I don't care about that, stuff like that. But I'm obviously like not, I don't know how young this commentary is or old they are, but like I truly believe that once you become a public figure and put out a public work that people could consume, you're gonna get good. You're gonna get the good with the bad. You got to take the pros with the cons. As much as Tower got blew up, it's getting volumes now in French, English, like physical. I got an anime and all those things. You got to take the good with the bad. And sometimes you're going to get a lot of criticism, a lot of hate, and people may not be feeling a stretch of your story. And if you are not strong enough to push through that, this is not the profession for you. You should not be doing this. You might think I'm being harsh saying that. So be it. But it's not for you. It's the same way a lot of people do not like what I have to say about a plethora of series that I speak about here. Hunter is obviously one of them. People don't like my takes on Togashi, stuff like that. But I have my opinion. I have my right to say it, and they could literally hate me for it. That's part of being on a public platform. I have to accept that. The same way that I have people, a lot of you guys supporting me on Patreon, liking and commenting the video, putting some money in my bank account, helping me out. It's gonna come with some drawbacks, and I'm willing to accept those. Being able to do this, and ultimately, if I can do this full time, or whatever, it's a privilege. So I'm not gonna whine and complain about those type of things. It sucks. I obviously have to battle through it mentally and emotionally, but I'm not gonna sit there and be like, the comment section is being mean to me. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
I just want to add, first of all,
Go ahead.
Do we even know that he even do we know if he even checks the comments? Because if I was, I'm not gonna argue it, but if I was an author, I would not check my comments. Why would I do that? That's not.
I would.
Yeah, we'll never.
I would have my editor.
I think he is the type. Based off what I've
from the blog posts
known, we've seen from the blog posts and stuff like that. I think he is the type of person that values fan interaction and what the fans state. Now, does he care about international fans? No idea. But at least the homegrown fans, I think he cares about how they're perceiving the series, what they want to see. Because I feel like he said it, but I can't remember exact blog posts. It's been too long. But I feel like he said as much in a couple of blog posts here and there. So he's the type of person, even if he's not looking at it, somebody's looking at it for him. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't do that. And I said this before. Because I'm kind of I kind of get the Curry, not always to compare them, but one of the things I like about Curry Gom is that love it or hate it, because you don't have to love it, but love it or hate it, I feel like she's going to write what she wants to write regardless.
She's writing the story the way she wants to write it, yeah.
Yeah, the only people I feel like you should be listening to is your editors and people you trust, if you have some writer friends or something like that, if you're asking them and you ask for their 2 cents.
That's what I was saying. I was just saying, maybe he doesn't get maybe he doesn't get exactly the comments. Maybe his editor takes it to him and gives a filtered version without any of the really hatred or anything. Because that's what I would do. I would have my editor look at it and see, these are actual complaints, and then maybe not change my story, but take it into account. Maybe
just not be tone deaf. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, without the fan base, you don't have a job. So, yeah,
right. And plenty of stories have been helped by listening to fan reaction. There's stories where people were planning to get rid of characters and stuff like that, and they end up not doing that because they didn't expect the fans to like it, and it ended up benefiting them. So it's not like the fans are always wrong. I think you just need to have a healthy respect for your fan base, but they're not, at the end of the day, you're the right.
Yeah.
You still ultimately make the call.
Yeah, I got you. Y'all saying real quick. More happy the last chapter. See if it'll affect direction at all. We'll see, because like one of the things we noticed for a long time, because we've been this is my 4th year of being a content creator. I've been talking with Tower God since since like towards the part of my 1st year. And one thing we notice a lot of the times is it seems like he's afraid to not have Bam on screen. Like the Korean fans, like when Bam's not there, they like tweak out. So it looks like he feels obligated and forced to always have Bam be there or be the center of attention. And I mean, it's up to him, but I wouldn't listen to them for something like that specifically. I would write it the way I want to write it. And if I have to have a Yuri arc or something, or Wagner arc, I would do it. One of the favorite things about stories is how things connected. I can't read a story that doesn't connect plot points. I agree. You should be able to take criticism. I agree. Now you're right on needing to accept the criticism, or at least understand that's just what happens. Get that tough skin. Fans shouldn't write your story, but you should take the criticism and be able to write what you want. Some editors aren't trustworthy. That's fair. That's fair. I agree with that. So Naya, would you say Oda does the same thing, writing the story he wants, no matter how ridiculous it seems to fans? Because a lot of fans hated how goofy Gear 5th was. I think Oda had to repurpose a lot of things and change up the general makeup of how he tells the story, but I think he's genuinely telling the story he wants to tell, I would argue. I say that because I know that he's very terrible at allotting and knowing how long they're going to take. So he did things like, I think Dressrosa was supposed to be an island with just the toys, and then Green Bit or whatever with the Tontada were supposed to be separate islands, and he starts to merge the concepts together into one island for the sake of time and I guess efficiency, even though Dressrosa is a very, very disorganized arc. So things have changed in terms of the way maybe he has to go about it, but I'd argue for the most part he's telling the story he wants to tell. Now, on the people saying that the Gear 5th stuff was a little bit too goofy, that's hard for me to comment on because I don't know what they think One Piece is sometimes. I really don't. Some One Piece fans really baffle me with how they perceive the series. I don't see it the way they do. I think One Piece and like JoJo are series that I judge by that creative team at their best. I don't really compare them to other people because I don't think Araki's storytelling style really, you can really compare it to like conventional writing, especially once you read manga theory and practice and you understand how his mind works. You're like, he's right different. So yeah. It's really hard to listen to the fans though. Of all they want is if they all want different things. I agree. It's not about like capitulate, listen to the fans. It's just not being tone deaf. Like, again, if you're like, I don't give a because like I'll say this, like, so you hear a lot of like you see a lot of people or creators and stuff who are like, if you don't fucking care, you don't fucking like it, you have to fucking watch and stuff like that. And I'm like, I get that, but that's a little ignorant because at the end of the day, if you're a public figure or a podcaster or something like that, or you're selling something, what do you do if you have no one to sell to? Did you guys see like some of those like stores? Not to get like into like current events, but there's some stores who do things like, yo, if you want to apply here, you have to be like a BIPOC. You can't be like a white man. And it's like, you understand, like for like certain areas in like in America or whatever, that is the most percentage of people. So you've just eliminated the like largest customer base you had. Is that smart for business? You see what I'm saying? So it's incumbent upon you to not be tone deaf, but you don't have to literally bow down to your fans and prostrate before them. Just don't be completely divorced from them, but tell your story. That's all it is. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but
no, I agree. Also, my thing is, I feel like a lot of times you can tell if a large percentage of your fans are clamoring for one thing or hating one thing. You'll be able to tell. It's not going through each individual comment, but if you're seeing something, a particular point that's popping up a lot, or you're hearing a lot of the clamors of something, or people worried about something, you'll know. You know, your friends and family, your editor, people will tell you. They'll be like, oh, you know, there's a large percentage of fans that are really worried that this character's gonna die, and you know, or here we got this popularity poll and this character's doing really, really good. Like you'll know. It's not just going through and reading individual comments and being like, oh, well, this person said this and this person did it. That's why I said at that point, don't listen to that. This is a large claimant. You should at least take it into consideration of a large. Where there's fire, there's smoke. If you hear a large percentage of people clamoring or disliking or liking something, you should at least take heed of that. Acknowledge it.
That's all.
That don't mean you got to do it. At the end of the day, it's still your choice. But it's there. Acknowledge it.
Exactly. I swear to God, if you binge read season 3, it is amazing. TOG shouldn't be weekly. Oh boy, what this argument? My head. All right, it needs to be weekly. It needs to become a monthly manhwa, so each chapter can be longer, cover more. Isn't Tower of God like? Just before I finish this, out of any webtoon that you read, would you guys argue that Tower of God has the longest chapters by far? That's just me.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely is.
I think God of High Schools, they're about the same.
We're talking about good stuff. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't do that. I'll write.
But still, they're both on the
high school.
I mean, they're both on the longer.
But they're
side,
both.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're both longer running series.
Okay.
But I mean, I still think Tower of God probably is like, yeah, it has the most pages per chapter.
Okay. TOG
Especially when we look at the Hashiracha chapter.
Yeah, that was long. Oh my God. TOD shouldn't be weekly. It needs to become a monthly model so each chapter can be longer, cover more detail, be better appreciated. It sounds like people are just sick of waiting a week for chapters. When the entire series is complete, everyone's gonna love it. I disagree. In my opinion, it's good, decent, but nowhere near amazing. It is simply not. Yeah, I don't like this argument more often than not, because here's the thing I'll say, and I somewhat understand this, right? When you read something in a binge because you don't have so much time to like digest it, like if you're reading it weekly, you have a week to think about it, probably talk about it, then get like understand the chapter perspectives and different people's opinions, blah blah yada yada. But binge reading something and reading it weekly does not change the literal content of the story. It's the same, regardless if you read it on a week to week basis or if you read it in a binge read. So that argument to me has never made sense. To get a greater like sense of cohesiveness in one sit down, I understand an arc finishing. I'm like, okay, now let me just read it in long format just to see how it perfectly strings together. But it doesn't actually change the actual contents. Though I want to say that there are times where I've read something in the after it's completed, like an arc or something, and I've taken it a lot better. Like it flowed better than I thought. But I don't think that's saying that people are just tired of the week to week and something. I don't think that's not right. That's not the problem, in my opinion. That's not the issue. I like this name, Stoned Charmander. I like that. I kind of agree in general. I think even though TOG has many problems, most would be cleared with killing almost all regulars. Oh my God. The potential is still there. The series could be absolutely huge in terms of plot, story, political stuff, and great scenes. Yeah, just kill the regulars and squander all the audience investment in them that's built up over 500 plus chapters. Great idea. Oh, you're being sarcastic. I mean, what do you think about that comment?
I mean, there's no point in killing these characters. Like,
no, see, the thing is, he got the third comment right there, so that's why I can't even. Because then he says this is an evaluation of the entire series. I'm obviously talking about the entire series. I said before somewhere else. Now it's far too late.
Oh, okay.
So
what's up, Milios? TOG has been the longest chapters I've able to have read. Fair enough. I don't think I would have started TOG if it had as many chapters as today. Fair. I'm late. What did I miss? We're just talking about Korea's kind of viewpoints on the series right now and whatnot. So, Tagos already long. Yes. What's up? What did I miss? What's up? High and low. Welcome. The Harash chapter was long. There's one. I think one of the chapters with and then Nea was long too. Am I right on that one? I think one of them was really long. Probably. Yes. Yeah. Probably was always. It always feels short when it has a bunch of action panels, but that's a universal thing. Yeah, because you're not talking as much. You're kind of reading the action, so it'll go by quicker that way. The binge excuse never worked for me. You don't just analyze as closely in a binge read as you do weekly. That's why you reread things. Fair. I agree. He's based. Sometimes people just want a series to change to such a degree that it doesn't even the same series anymore. As a man who did read TOG, all I can say is kill Bam, F him. This is an evaluation of the entire series. I'm obviously talking about the entire series. I said it before somewhere else, but it's too late. The regulars make up like 80% of the most popular characters. Killing them would tank the series. Most of the complaints levied have risen with the increases of rankers, not regulars being around. I actually agree with that. I think most of us want to see like Hatsu and Young Sleep, aka Lore and Anak and Dorsey, do something, be important, be a part of the story again. People, I mean, shoot, we got a Wagner fan in here. Like, I mean, shoot, we ever ran? Somebody in here hasn't seen Ran in like a decade, bro. Like, so.
Yep.
You don't want to.
I don't give a fuck about Cha. Cha can go fucking somewhere else. I actually don't mind him anymore. But my point is, he can leave. I want the regulars to do more, so I don't. But I understand we're like at this point, the regulars aren't gonna keep up doing something just to get rid of them. Like I don't even think that's a crazy thing to get. Like at this point, I could understand you being so frustrated. You just say that. I honestly do. I don't agree though. Still no, but wake up, Lore. You can never forget SE for how we treated the lane. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm so tired of it. The lane and Croc, so I'm suffering. Like I said in another post, now it's far too late, and that for me, this is a major mistake in the series because I said you would have to create a story where regulars who are weak against trash rankers will have to be kept alive while fighting against rankers, high rankers, and family heads. We will have to see hundreds of random characters dying without a single regular between the dozens of from BAM's group will die. There's no sense of danger in the series when it comes to regulars from BAM's group. There's no tension. Basically what you're saying. No tension. The tension is gone. There's no real fear of
we used to argue all the time. But
Yeah,
I don't
I just
necessarily even agree that's gonna be true. My bad, Miles. I don't even necessarily agree that that's gonna be true the entire time. But see, that just tells you though how some people are feeling. They don't even feel like Bam got all these groups. They don't even feel like none of them are gonna die like ever. Like,
yeah.
But go ahead, Miles.
I was just gonna say, I think this is like a very good like showing of like the fact that we've reached a point where people can say things like trash rankers to me has shown that SIU has gone completely off the rails of how he should have how like the true portrayal of rankers should have been. I don't like, even to the point like when the series is over, I don't think rankers should have ever have the connotation of being like disrespected ever, based off what has been built up for what the tower is, the floors and testing you have to go through, the scheming, the plotting, the training. It's kind of, I'm trying to think of like a good like this is gonna be kind of like a really bad analogy, but it's kind of like with Lucky Charms, right? When you're a kid, you get all the grains, and the grains are like regulars, and then like when you get the marshmallows, that's the good shit, that's the rankers. And then like as a kid, you'd be like, I want to get all the marshmallow candies that I can fit in a bowl and enjoy that. And for a time, it's good. You know, like when we first get a bunch of rankers and high rankers in the story, like in season 2, you like it. And then it gets to a point where that is now normalized, and you're like, this is just too fucking much. Let's go back to the old shit and get a better ratio. That's what I feel like has happened.
Okay.
And that's what I feel like has happened.
Okay. Interesting. What did you say, Milios? They're the only regulars I've seen fly. What regulars Speech 5? You've seen what? Bam and Dorsey, Rack, Aguero. Who else have we seen fly as a regular? Am I missing anybody? I guess Data Jihad and Data Kunadwan or whatever, if you want to use that. We need Shibisu. Yeah, you know. So I got you, East. Isu gang. You know I'm here. We need that. You know I'm here. You know I need that. They're only the tower needs Wagner. Karaka might get though eventually, but this TOG so we don't get nice things. The CBLs are eating though. They want more BAM, which is crazy to me. Yeah, they're good. If you're a BAM fan, you're great, like for the most part. Unless you're like, what I'd argue, and don't get mad at me, like a real BAM fan, and because you don't see him struggle or go through any real trial and tribulation, you're actually lower on him. He's become less interesting to you, which is what I would consider myself less interested because he doesn't go through any real hardship, in my opinion. You'll build up all these characters, regular characters for season 2. Milios, are you free? Hop in, bro. You build up all these regular characters for season 2, and then all of a sudden, silent all of them and introduce these rankers no one cares about. Feel that. Can't lose to say Lane used to be best girl. Might I'm in the trenches. Reading this chat and hearing this stream makes me so happy that I never read TOG. That's crazy. There's gonna be some major time skips for our regulars to get stronger. No doubt. I thought Rack and Aguero kind of getting a portion of White's power was like, oh, you're so sick. Okay, my bad. I forgot. You were sounding. I remember you're thinking that video. I could tell you're like, oh, my boy's not well. But get better, bro. Miles with Lucky Charms analogy. Shake my head. Wheat thins better though. Lucky Charms greatness. Well said, young scholar. Lore Cherry Lyle. Yep. The team sleep. Wants to call family. Lore. I Lucky Charms as an adult. I thought my teeth would fall out. Cinnamon toast. Crunch for the win. Those was two I was talking about. The rest have asterisks next to them. Oh, cause like bong bong and stuff. I think you're thinking about, right? Fair. Yeah, you lost your ratio of regulars to rankers. Somebody, I didn't even know Sibby was in the chat. He met somebody. What's up, Sibby? I had Bam in A, now put him in F. That's to me because my favorite character is the 1.2, even top 3. Yeah, I used to really like Bam. I really did. So, cornflakes, I used to like Frosted Flakes when I could. I'm like super duper mega lactose. Like I could look at milk and have to take a shit. So.
That's great.
but yeah. Oh shoot! Making sure the ape nation stay clean. I respect. Thank you, sir. We need your services here. All right. So did I read this post already? No sense of danger. Killing almost all the regulars would cause more problems than it would fix. Why? Okay, let's go into it. Let's get into it. What do you do when your protagonist is so much stronger than the rest of the group he started with? You either kill most of them or you let them go. Now it's far too late. The notable regulars evolved in the current storylines make up the majority of the recognizable supporting cast around the protagonist. SIU killing most of them, regardless of the fashion, is equivalent to shooting himself in the foot, figuratively speaking. Tower of God has already been tanking, added more wood to the fire, is going to exacerbate the process. I think the easy solution for this, for what they're talking about specifically, is to obviously just do the like the I could call it Toriyama hand job. You just power them up. Whatever ridiculous means you need to do, you give them external power ups to help them catch up, like we did with White, with Rack and Aguero. You do that for multiple characters. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't see no other option.
The best fix is the issue. Nothing you can do now. We have to slap a Band-Aid on it. To me, that's the best Band-Aid you could probably use for a situation like this. That's in my opinion.
I would rather Bam.
Oh, go ahead, Miles.
I was gonna say I would rather Bam just be removed from the story until like they reach the natural progression of power. That's me. I understand that would take a really long time, and that would be an extremely long time without seeing Bam. So maybe you could have him doing like some side missions with F.U.G or something, or like sprinkle that in for fans. But like I mean I don't like the quick here's a power boost, especially when the power level discrepancies in Tower of God are so huge. So, but that's me.
No, I'd say just give them time, because like one of the things that I think F.U.G doesn't utilize that it really should is the long, like how long people live. Like people live for thousands of years. Like you can probably do like a 54, like a super long time skip, and it still makes sense because of how long these people be living, and have Bam be on the side and doing his own stuff. Though I don't know how that would work right now, because the growth Bam's shown in like a few months is it's like unless you put him, you probably need to just seal him away now. But I don't know how possible that is.
Bonjour, mon coeur. Just do a god of high school and get Bam the hell out of here. Thought they couldn't rack power balls so they could go with Bam and split up the regulars. Not sure now. Thank you for the follow. Facts. I've been praying Bam be captured or something, but SC's afraid of making Bam incapacitated. Wagnan has the sword. Just use the sword to make him OD. There you go. Honestly, people with a backstory like TOG removing Bam gives him fans. Wait, what? Honestly, with the start of TOG removing Bam gives his fans time to appreciate other characters more. With how Bam was progressing so fast, I was sure Bam would have gone missing after the nest. He would have get Wagner and Rachel's point of view after missing until season 4 for a couple of arcs. If they would get to season 4, I don't even know. You have 50. That means 50 people are shoot. Shout out to y'all. There you go, Vince. Shoot.
Hey there, that's what I'm talking about.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
we're like 48 to like 52. Jesus Christ. Bam getting gone for maybe 2,000 to 3,000 years might give his friends enough time to catch up. But the thing about it is, where's Bam? If Bam is still, I guess ultimately we just need him to catch up to Haigh-Rankers, not Bam specifically. So never mind. It wouldn't even matter.
Maybe even just Rankers. Rankers could work as well. Not even high
or maybe,
rankers.
I say at least probably like advanced on average, because I kind of like what's well. I don't read the whole comment here, so let me just read it first. Let me just see. It's too late now. In my opinion, I think SIU should have elected should have elected 5 to 8 regulars to follow BAM, and that's that. You don't need to kill them as long as they were useful. So I kind of agree with this to a certain degree because I kind of skimmed this. Kun is like Aguero, using the old spelling. Kun, Aguero, and Isu are highly intelligent, so they're always going to be useful. Hawkney can see the future. You know, Huarun is a godlike guide, but apparently she's not regular. And Anak, Yewa, and Dorsey, because Nak and Dorsey because they're princesses, and Anak is a demi princess, and I almost called her Yan. Ewa wants to be the head of the Yeon family, so they have reasons for be there. Rachel means past and future, maybe Rack for some comic relief. I can accept a story where 5 irregulars never get killed while fighting a war against Haigh-Rankers and the family heads. It's BS, but I can accept. You have more space to develop all of them, maybe even some training arc or something or whatever. I just think you need to trim the fat to some degree, what's that girl who used to Candy and like Boro and Sachi and stuff? Leave.
Bero.
Masang.
Bero.
I'm sorry, guys. Masang, you're done.
Well, Misang, no need to stand
I
right
actually like Masang. I like all of the old.
But are they really important?
I mean, they're not even in the story right now.
I mean, I can make the argument no one's really important.
Were they even fake important? At least Anak is a demi princess. You know what I'm saying? Her mom was killed for breaking the law of what being like. There's things you could like. I know we're rationalizing, but you can cling on to for hope. Like, oh, one day we'll get the conclusion of this. You don't even have that for some of these characters. They were never important. They're just there, nigga. Amigo Chaz is like in every fucking panel, and he don't do nothing. He's been okay. What are you doing here? He looks cool though, so I'm not mad at it. But nigga, like, what does he do? He's just there.
He's just a strong silent type. He's the I'll pull up and I mean I don't think he's ever won a fight, but you know he look raw. I don't know.
Shit, funny, bro. Like he's really just there. And my panels looking raw, but all right. More than that, very positive arcs for Horang, Rand, Beta, Novik, Verdi, Y. It's the same as Lisu's group. Hatsu is in my top 5 regulars in the series, but I know he simply doesn't matter. I mean, after that thing with Kendrick, DL, and Cha, I knew he was cooked. He should eat. And if you know what the worst part about that is, that's how you build my hopes up with the white seed. So I'm like, hold on, okay. And then this is what Donghua does. I'm like, no, this is mid. I don't like this. So, it is what it is, though. You either get killed or back off. If you clean the trash or regulars and focus on a small group of them, the story will become much more fluid. If you focus Haigh-Rankers, the story will be fast, easier to write, and people start to like them. But as I said, I agree with my. Wait. But as I said, and I agree with myself. LOL, it's far too late now. Okay. Sachi and Drip.
So I'm going to be in the background a bit more, but I am still going to be here.
Okay.
But I'm going to be on mute for a while, so I'll be kind of inconsistent. So don't call on me. I'll jump in.
All right. It's like Arya in the last 20 chapters. She's in every BAM team panel, but no dialogue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know how he won't just kind of do what he needs to do. So the fodder rankers kind of hurt my immersion. I can't lie. Chicken Love Club podcast. Miss Sang Slander is still the most funniest shit to me. I mean, I get it, I guess, to some degree, but she's not important. It's not moving me. Maybe Bam could get consumed by losing control of his power and be banners sealed for a long time. That'll happen, but who knows? Hearing that China is hooping, y'all got any stories from there? Of course, tons. I don't read as much things from there as other people do, but there's a couple things I read. But I watch more Donghua than anything, like Legend of Hay and Scissor 7 and 100,000 Bad Jokes, Big Fish in Begonia, Fog Hill of 5 Elements. There's so many I'm trying to think of off the top of my head, right? But it's not coming to me right now. But yeah, I've made videos about one of those. But maybe one day I'll just do a Donghua recommendation in general. But give me time. I don't understand how Masang made it to the 20th floor. Literally, everyone on the second floor was stronger. Hey man, she was training. Go ahead.
Why are you disrespecting my daughter for, man? This needs to stop.
Yeah.
We have Karaka running around and you want to stand there me saying, okay.
Link. Oh, Will Eternal. That's a good one. Let me just pull up my folder real quick. Where is my folder?
Will Eternal's cool.
Donghua. What do I have here? I don't even have on my you know what? It's on my hard drive from my last computer. It's not here, but there's a lot of great animation that comes out of China, man. It's like phenomenal. Okay. It's just hard to keep track of what's going on in the fights nowadays. Yeah, absolutely. Just flashy streaks of lights, just filters and overlays, and I think it was Scobe who said this. I think it was Scobe. Visual noise. Shout out to you. That's what I think it is. I just can't make out any real continuity with it doesn't flow well. So yeah. I don't get the comments criticizing the Korean readers. The post basically mirrors our own Tower God down to a T. Oh, someone's saying, yo, hold on. Only exception is we don't see too many posts or comments saying jihad, 10 heads, and families are in the right, though I am surprised they're also upset about the power scaling and BAM. Before this, I've heard all they wanted was BAM to be OP like we reckon, selling Tower alone. That is kind of true. Like, I thought they wanted that. Do you guys agree? Like, I heard like they were super into BAM being in every scene and everything that. So this kind of paradigm shift, maybe they're like, maybe they went too far. I don't know. I don't know like how popular things like solo leveling and whatnot are over there in those parts. But I would argue that Koreans really like power fantasies. Would you agree?
They really do. Because solo leveling
is mid.
Not good.
I get it. The main character is cool. Like always said, he's cool in the sense like he has like traditional like rawness, the rawness factor that people like. Like my version of cool is different than people's version of cool, but I understand it from a contemporary standpoint. He's a cool character, and I think what he did to gain his ability, I'm cool with it because he's the one who figured out the little stuff at the beginning. I won't spoil it for anyone who wants to get into it. I never read the actual novel. Maybe the novel does things differently than the webtoon does, so I'm not going to comment on that. It does or doesn't?
It doesn't.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't. I'll tell you this. I read the light novel and majority of the manga. I will say this, as an adaptation from the manga goes, it's actually damn near like 1-to-1, which is good. The art's actually good. The story's just relatively like pathetic. Mm-hmm. The best part of the entire series is the beginning. That's the best part. It is the first dungeon. That's it.
That's my favorite.
The main character's just he doesn't have much of a personality. There's no side characters that matter.
That's my
All
problem.
The villains are just monsters with no thing. And he gets his power and becomes like S-class and like super powerful like super early on. So, like the power creep is just like it's like if Bam became a high ranker like
season
at the
1?
beginning of season 2.
Okay.
You're like okay, like so you're just like okay. It's kind of like a poor man's like One Punch Man, except like One Punch Man from the monsters to the heroes, everybody actually has goals, personality and shit, and that's just nowhere near the same in this story. It's just all around like trash. And the fights look pretty, but there's no like actual nuance or substance to it. Like it's kind of like just steamroll. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things like I don't like saying art carries, but the art just very heavily carries it.
Yeah.
I would say
I've heard of King's Avatar, by the way. Keep going. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. As far as TOG, I think it's just like I still think it's a lot. I think this isn't like the whole fan base switching on them or anything. I just think it's a tiny part. But maybe it's just been there since the beginning. But we just thought that it's like if Korean fans think that every person in America loves Marvel movies because of how popular they are, like superhero movies because of how popular they are, right? Mm-hmm. Like probably generally speaking, a lot of people like what's it called? Superhero movies, but it's not always the case, and there's probably a sizable fan base that doesn't. But yeah, that's probably what I'd say.
Okay. I have no shame X recommendations when I have 20 stories I'm kind of reading. That's crazy. There are tons of great stories out there, so once I get bored with the OG, I'll split for a while. I'll come back someday. Fair. Soul Leveling was one of the most popular. Okay. The only two that I knew for sure was Soul Leveling and Noblesse. I know was big down there for a while because I remember my friends who were into I almost said K-pop. That's crazy. K-dramas told me that they'd reference Noblesse in those or like a nerd would be reading like Noblesse or something, which is pretty cool. I obviously haven't seen it myself, so I'm just going by word of mouth. Most good manhwa are either romance, comedy, or gag, rather action ones. Really, actually, if you're talking about online, like line webtoon specifically, I see that a lot of the romance ones and stuff do well. But I don't know if Naver in Korea that the it's a little different. But you're right. Things like Lore Olympus and whatnot are very popular. I like Love Ecstasy, like stuff like that were really good. So. There's so many Korean power fantasies. I personally tend to find that Korea has an obsession with a main character either being broken, just absolutely overpowered from the get go, overpowered but they don't know it yet, or the potential to become overpowered, or some combination of two or all of those things. That's what I find personally speaking, but that's just anecdotal. I could be wrong overall. What's up, Glam? Do you think SLU would pull a GOH at some point and take away all the power Bam has? So to go to like the Metroid kind of like God of War route where you kind of depower them at the beginning. Would you guys think that's a cheap method though? Like I guess my question to you would be, I think it would work if you do it in a way that makes sense, but do you guys think that would kind of like cheapen a lot of the growth that he had already because he just got a bunch of stuff without working for it and then just took it away from him? So it's like, do you care? Like, I don't know if I'd care at this point. What do you think though?
If like Kun and them got like power ups?
No, like Bam loses a bunch of the power he amassed to like even him out, so he gets depowered.
Oh, in most cases, I actually hate that usually in storytelling, because in Chinese light novels especially, we have full-on arcs and half story points where like the main character literally loses everything and has to genuinely restart. So in most cases, I'm actually not a fan because I've just seen it so much. But this is one of the few instances of the time where like I genuinely wanted White to steal a lot of Bam's power, or like even steal Bam's like ability to devour and then improve White's own ability to devour, which allowed White to get stronger and have more relevance, and Bam had to like kind of at least lose power or restart like learning more shit. I generally do think like Bam needs like a debuff or something. Okay. I think he needs to like be humbled in almost every aspect.
Or frozen in stasis or something where he can't get stronger and only people. Okay, all right. What do you think, Elizabeth?
Because
no, go. Just
finish it. That's all I have to say.
I definitely agree. Like as you said, as long as it's done like in a proper way, it's not like some random guy pulls up and just things him. I definitely think it's and I definitely think it's good because Bam is just like the growth is too much. Like if you think about it, like he's like what, top 50 now. Like after like he might be like, you can argue he's top 50 right now. Even before the Nest, he was probably like growth from just the Nest arc itself was well, like how many days like in days was the Nest, right? Like 1 or 2 days.
I actually don't know. I have no idea how long they've been there, bro.
Like it was probably like a couple days, right? Like the in time passing, right? And he grew like this much.
Dressrosa was like a day, bro. I don't know. I have no idea to tell you.
Nah, but he grew this much, so I definitely think he needs to get powered down, or like powered down, though. Yeah, or just like make sure his ability to absorb isn't that strong anymore. Like he does not need to absorb everything and get powerful. Also, yeah, he needs his ass beat, like properly, like full on ass beating. But
No, yeah, Bam actually like. There's just certain points in stories where you're like, okay, the MC just needs his ass beat, like. And Bam is one of those characters at this point where, like, he needs to get the breaks and beats off of him, like, badly. Like, he's, like, looking, he's trying to get more powers, and it just doesn't matter. Like, he literally thinks he's gonna die. And, like, he's, like, afraid for, like, years. Like, something needs to happen to this man.
I think that's what made the Dada Jihad stuff so interesting initially, because you're like, this isn't a regular who's a king of the tower. This is his dad, and Bam freaked out. Like, that's why the intrigue... Oh. That shit's so good, man. That Dada Jihad shit is really good. SC was in his bag, bro. Soul leveling is mid. I like it though. Hey, there's nothing wrong. By the way, I'm not saying not to like soul leveling. If anyone's took it the wrong way,
I'm not either.
Sometimes that mid be hitting. I'm cool with that. Yo, I watch, read, and play a lot of mid, bro. I'm not gonna act like I know. I know, like there's nothing I like that's mid. That mid be hitting. That's cool. I just don't think it's actually good. That's all I'm saying. It's soul leveling is fast food. Probably agree with that. Soul leveling is repetitive, so I dropped it. One thing I hate about solo is no one else can grow stronger. There were quite a bit of red herrings. Solo leveling. I knew solo leveling was finished when Diet Chimera Ant was that disappointing. That's crazy. That's around when I stopped. Actually, Power Fantasy is basically Korea's isekai. Oh shoot, damn. Okay. So what you're saying now is Koreans are power hungry. An interesting take. I take that 100%. I want a white to take the souls. Anything to get Bam out the story. I'm sick of him now. It wouldn't cheapen because there wasn't much growth in the first place. I actually agree with that. Maybe I'm wrong. I agree with you, Battle Popcorn. I agree with that, actually. Even if it's cheap or running out of options. Yo, we're desperate? That's crazy. I'll tell you what my preference is in a second. Speak Miles, I hated Wuxia depowering, but God of High School kind of do depowered MC and pretty good in my opinion. I like the idea, like a new game plus. Okay. I almost read you added someone's a moderator to the channel. I forgot I gave you the sword, brother. It would happen in T-Bait. Oh wait, the beginning and after the end, which worked well because our third MC had to get new power working hard with his life on the line.
I think the beginning after the end is good, but that's a whole different discussion.
Got to high school, just kept dragging for no reason. What about a limiter?
He already had that though, and that didn't really work. Remember, like, oh, you can't use the Black March, you can't use the Thorn, and he was still just bodying everybody.
I think
get that red bracelet.
His growth rate can increase much more before he hits final level. The series will either change his pace or change his POV or end. I like seeing Bam struggle. He needs to be extremely humbled. Rise of Skywalker was dog ass, but I had a great time though. There you go. See, I won't lie. Like so like Wonder Woman, was it 1984? Awful,
yes,
awful film from top to bottom. Me, my dad, and my sister just roasted the movie the whole time. I had a great time. Had fun. It was a terrible movie, but we just made fun of it the whole time. Like it was so stupid. So I feel it. Irregulars are special in the tower, right? You can have Bam go through the arc. Can you have Bam go through an arc out of it? I don't know. Here's what I would probably prefer, personally speaking, other than depowering Bam. Even though you're right, we're out of options here. We're getting desperate. We got to do something, or it is what it is. I prefer the idea of him somehow getting like sealed or frozen in stasis, or put away somewhere where he can't increase his level of strength. So everyone, even if they don't surpass him, they up their level of overall combat capabilities and items and whatnot to get closer, if not even to his level. Then when they release him or find him or whatever, he just continues his growth spurt or whatever. I think the biggest problem is we need everyone else to kind of really be properly able to deal with the rankers. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, going with that point, I was thinking that Machine was gonna like trick Bam and like kind of when they like do the Hajin Sung thing,
dreadlocks.
goes into the crystal. She would like switch the Bam being sealed and then take Bam for herself. So Bam is sealed and she can do whatever she wants, like with his power or whatever, and she's just gone. I thought that would have been cool.
I don't know. I agree with you, but even when she sent him in there, she was like, I don't know, use your regular BS to get out of there. And I'm like, look, even she knows. She didn't even take that seriously. Like no one could get out of there. Like, you'll figure it out, guy. Like, so I didn't get my hopes up because I was hoping they would seal him in there somehow. I did actually. So I feel you on that. But as soon as she said that, I just said, never mind. Because even Machete knew. She's like, yo, just. I don't know. You'll figure it out, guy. So, yeah.
Streets need a wagon and arc. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So, I forgot she did TOG content. Well, now you're reminded. What's up? How you doing, Emerald Flygon? That's why Tower God being mediocre now it hurts because it was good. Yeah, that's really what it is. I expect a lot better from it. Dreadlocks. Simple solution, Bam gets sealed, everyone else becomes rankers. There you go. That would be so smart. Sadly, it's TOG. Man, I really did start reading Kubera, huh? Absolutely. You do. How do you seal which can break seals? Fair enough. I don't know. It has to be like a spell, but just I don't know. Put them in suspended animation stasis somewhere where time doesn't move. I don't know, man. But and then again, it's just like, what stopping K from breaking out in 2 seconds? But like, look, I don't know. Like here, can I tell you a dream I had? like a year ago. Not a year ago. This is probably not a year. Maybe not that long. Sorry. This is around Bam doing the what's that guy called? Who just does like the black guy who just does like that pose with his hands out when someone does something overly complicated, but it does it in a very simple mode. So I always say when Bam had his dark change, he just did that pose, sending a bunch of like bangs and stuff at White. So we got the power up or whatever. And what happened in my head was Bam got sealed somewhere, and he broke out in like 10 minutes. But because time moves so differently there, by the time he moved out, 100 years had passed, and everybody had gotten stronger.
Cool.
So I don't.
But is 100 years even enough?
I don't know, but that was all I had in my dream. That's all I dreamed.
This is like even going to the
Cabby Lame. Yes. Sorry, keep going.
None of this time thing makes sense. Barek purposely wanted to finish the towers fast and did it in 50 years. Now, you can make an argument for Bam, even though he shouldn't be, because he's not specifically trying to rush through, getting in 5 years to 44s. But the fact that everybody else is still keeping pace with Bam is still insane.
It's because Bam's hard carrying, basically. So it's just
think about this. Shibisu they did their own thing separately. They've been like their own group like since floor 2. So it's just like, I mean, realistically, yeah. I mean, the way the story is going, in 100 years they could be rankers, but I mean, like, it wouldn't make sense based off like a knack is 3,000. Wait, no. A knack's like 20. Wait, and Dorsey's the 3,000 one, right?
I don't remember.
Because some of their ages already 1,000, so it's just kind of like, age is weird in Tower of God.
I mean, as long as I don't think they'd be exactly rankers, as long as they're ranker level, like, if that makes sense. Like, you don't have to be rankers, but they.
By the time they're gonna have that, we're gonna be in wars with Haigh-Rankers and family hazard. Rankers not gonna be able to do nothing. It's just like.
I don't know, man.
If you're not top 100 by the end, like, it don't matter. Like.
Probably.
Well, no. By the end, most of the main ones will probably be top 100 or at least, like, you know. Don't worry, Bam will solo everybody. No need to worry.
You think Bam will just start like like there's a part of me that think that like they don't even need to get stronger. Bam will just have like KCM2 like Naruto like just high five, give him powers to be able to like keep up. I don't know.
If I see Bam like fighting 4 family heads at once, I'm about to lose my mind.
So
add in Kuhn's Firefish for that boost as well. Like, you're right there. You're right.
There you go. He has the power to block all debuffs. Yeah, Cabby that lame. I like this comment. We need Michael Jahar to lure for Bam James. Certified Bam hater now. Bam collects these powers and is just good at using them out of nowhere. It's frustrating to see ever since the train. Yeah, it is what it is. I still stand by the items being used as a buff. That's not a bad idea. People like Quant taking some time to reach floor 20, then meeting Bam, getting the Utero. There you go. Cultural Blitz. Really interested seeing what will happen. It might get worse or it might get better. True. You never know. If LaFave can cheat away to top 300 with magic bullets and so can the crew, shoot. Fair enough. And Dorsey was the only one she started to climb. I read the last 2 chapters. Keep in mind that I'm just talking like officials today. I'm not going into any fast pass or anything other stuff. I don't know if they even talk about it here. I probably should have checked and skimmed for that, but it is.
I think they do
at some point.
But yeah. Like, yeah.
Dang. Well,
it
is what it is. Man, Michael Jard, yeah, because my friend Joey used to call Bam LeBam James. I don't get the comments criticizing Korean readers. They're basically wait. I don't know if I can see the sub is far more possible the story overall. Though there's a faction of vocally unhappy fans and their complaints seem to be along the same lines. I think it's the vocal fans who dislike all the power-ups and less desirable parts of Season 3 are just tired of arguing with people who accept whatever power-ups Bam gets just because he's a regular who will fight a 10 family's head. Jihad Direct was powerful and Bam needs to be like them, so Season 3 is perfect for most hype. Yeah, I think that's probably the good thing. Where like, you don't have sometimes it's not about like, yo, you know what? I agree with you. I agree. It's more like you're just gonna act like what I'm saying is fucking insane. Like I'm just crazy. and everything SIU is doing is absolutely perfect. Your cape is flowing in the wind. That's very frustrating. I get that. I feel him on that. I truly do. Like, come on now. I am surprised as well. Even if the Koreans are fed with Bam, why the hell SIU continues putting him in the spotlight? At this point, he doesn't know what to do. What exactly is bewildering in the character and what is
wait, no, wait. The first reply to that is a spoiler.
Oh,
so if
okay.
you don't want to look at that, you can go to the one where it says OP, like smooth. That's...
I think I did it. Where it says great general sentiment.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
General sentiment.
I don't even know what my OBS isn't. Okay. General sentiment is that he's wishy-washy. His philosophy progresses, regresses. It's contradictory to what he might have proclaimed a few chapters before. He's overwhelmingly indecisive to the detriment of the narrative. He's an active hindrance to his allies due to his own whims. Due to his on-the-whim fancies and inability to have a hard stance that 500 chapters in a viewer could not definitively say what Bam is about at any given time. There's also a sentiment that despite him seemingly progressing so much of him feels no different from how he was at the start of the series. They also think he is the most emotionally immature character by miles. I don't disagree with any of that.
They were spitting.
I think the frustrating part I see with Bam sometimes is like he'll have this moment where he's like, yeah, you know what? I am a monster. I have to accept like all the powers in me and blah blah and yada yada. I'm like, great, cool. Oh wow, true self mode against Dad Jihad. And he did that shit like 5 times again since then. Like what? The analogy I always say that he has the he put the table together. He's hammered the nail in, but he's still hammering. The table is set, bro. What are you doing? Oh yeah, Bam, you have the right to seek strongness. Like, bro, we get it. He's a good kid. He's not gonna get corrupt by power. Like, we understand. Can we move on? No, we can't.
Bruno was lying there, by the way. He's not.
Man, shout out, Bam. True self mode 2, Super Saiyan, True self mode.
Super self mode 2 ascended. Like, what are we doing here? ultra true self mode, like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so Bam has been very introspective in the same breath. He regresses a lot. Yep. Today Bam is wow. Yep. We haven't had Jin Sung's red drop in ages. Yep. Thoughts on Bam becoming the villain of the series? It's easy to think Jihad is evil booty cheeks when you're not in his shoes. Even you go back up a little bit, my bad.
Jihad did nothing wrong, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's put that out there.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say all that, but like,
yeah, Shibisu's team was always floors ahead of Bam. He even stated that Bam was climbing slow at the name hunt. As a LeBron fan, I'm offended by putting him the love before Bam's name. The effect of the Roz MDR perspective. Match of the century is LeBam James versus Michael Jihad. It is. It's hitting. I gotta mention my favorite example, John in the Ordinary. Yeah. That was. Again, I also want to give Uru Chan credit in the sense that I'm happy the character didn't just have like one flashback and go, I was wrong. Oh, 180 switch out of nowhere. But it's like, please remember your fan base has to read this shit every week and we are suffering. We're tired. We get it. Hierarchy bad. John angry. People bad to him. Like, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I feel that. SIU stop giving a F what the fans want is write his story. Characters oh my god, this is the long ass one. I'm not reading that. This is one where we got to talk about Game of Thrones and all this thing, right? Let me just skim it. I'm gonna go super fast mode. With fast mode, Harry Potter or Dumbledore.
You good, bro.
There's like 3 big ass comments.
Bro, you're good. Just skip it. Ain't nobody trying to read all that.
Is there anything else that's interesting here so I can just go to the actual thingy? The other part? Let me see. For me, TOG for me is play a long game series. Judging it while it's incomplete just seems wrong. I understand the sentiment people have. No, it's just the you can't critique an ongoing series argument.
Yeah.
And now I gotta cook you. Now you gotta get cooked. I don't even know how to say this name, but you gotta get cooked from 8 days ago. This is easily one of the most frustrating arguments that people make up, where it's like, you can't judge the series because it's not done yet. So you can praise the series and speak positively about it when it's not done, but you can't critique it. How does that make sense? Explain. Obviously, you can't answer me. This person's not watching, but that is stupid. I believe that you can criticize a series and be like, I don't like this thing, and that's saying 3 chapters. It proves that the thing you didn't like 3 chapters ago was wrong. When you have new information, watch this. You might not know this. You're allowed to change your stance. We call it learning. Man, very simple. That's all it is. If I said this player is terrible, he's shooting 2 for 40 every week, and then in the playoffs, and then for the next 3 seasons proves me wrong, I'm like, yo, I was wrong about that person. They went to the gym, they worked hard and changed. I amend my statement, original statement, because now I'm working with new data sets and new information. You're allowed to adjust. You can critique something ongoing. You can critique you can praise something ongoing. And I hate that argument that it's ongoing. You can't. It's not done yet. Yo, shut up, man. Because sometimes too, things get retroactively better or worse depending on later chapters too. So I'm just not trying to hear that. So yeah. See what you guys are saying. Bam been drawing the same small last line for 10 years. Oh my goodness, Ja Goat. Uber was pissing me off. What you kept making him the villain and the Royals were getting off scot-free. Were they getting off scot-free?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, they were getting their ass beat,
but no one was mad at them.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of like none of them were like. Oh, I mean, John was kind. I don't know. It was just weird.
I don't know. I guess I'm on the opinion with an ordinary that everyone was in the wrong. Like, everyone trying to act higher, holier than... You're all in the wrong. No one was perfect. Even, what's his name, Remy? Remy had the problem of being ignorant. Like, goody two-shoes ignorant.
And Arlo were the only 2 that really were, like, very, retroactive with their thinking and stuff. But, like, even, like, it's kind of like Blake. You were, like... No one's killed John, like, 3 times at the beginning of the series. You never said anything, like... I don't know. It's just weird.
Okay, fair enough. If Vita Arlene are anything like Bam, the Jihad was trying to save them all. The recent chapters have been fire and ordinary. I have not been catch. I'm not caught up. I will admit that. Sometimes I just ignore the really long comments. So do I. Yo, after a long day of work and I have to go through some comments and I'm like, you're not saying nothing in this first paragraph, you might just get a like and a heart. I'm not gonna lie. I do that sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Cause I'm like, bro, and the worst too when I have to sometimes I open up a long ass DM like, fam, please, y'all be killing me with these Tagashi text walls, bro. What is Saitama saying? Say it in 6 words or less. I like that concise talk, but sometimes I do appreciate when you guys share a like elongated thought, as long as it makes sense. That's all. That's all I ask. I forgot another drop today too. Gonna read that later. Game of Thrones. I'm watching that right now. I gotta say, Tyrion is carrying the story. I like Tyrion. You can't criticize One Piece until it's done. XD. Yeah, I never like that either. What's up, Omar? I don't know if you answered this, but do you think later on Ban's personality will change, or do you think he's gonna give into his powers and become his usual self again, or not? Wait, Bam hasn't ever really changed, and I doubt he will. And I don't necessarily have a problem with Bam's personality like being what it is, because I'm cool with static characters. It's just that like SIU seems to be trying to teach him the same lesson over and over in a weird, like someone said earlier. Like he progresses, he regresses, and it's like, what are you doing with him? Like, I don't need characters to go through like traditional character development. Character arcs are cool enough for me for the most part, but I don't know. I think at this point I'm just completely disinterested in Bam from top to bottom. I don't know if there's anything he could really do to get me back on Team Bam. I think maybe he could do enough that he's palatable. What do you think, Miles?
As a resident previous Bam lover, I just need struggle. That's all I need. I think when the struggle comes back, Bam will be a lot more enjoyable. Because I think that's where he shines. I think like the true effortful like learning like perspective of Bam, I think is the good part about him. And we just haven't had that like since Jahard, honestly, since he fought Jahard.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't criticize someone until they're dead. Yeah, don't criticize my life until I rip, bro. You can't critique me until I rip, bro. Easy, barely an inconvenience. If you criticize an ongoing series, it might drop in popularity and get axed. So don't be mid. Not yet on the fast pass. I mean, oh, you're talking to me. You'd be shocked if people wouldn't understand that something that basic. Yeah, I don't get it. Wow, I'm mind blown. Thanks, Naya. I didn't know I can change my opinion. Wow, so happy I can help, man. Change your stand on Asian comic. On an Asian comic after getting new info. Naya, do you have no shame? I'm just a black man. What do you want from me? Yeah, some people being able to change their stance, change their mind. I do think some people flip flop are too fickle. I don't like fickle people, by the way, just to say that. But again, I don't know. I don't like this chapter. Next chapter, there's something like I was wrong. But this chapter, the last chapter is fine. I'm sorry. That's all it really is. Arlo was right. I don't give a fuck what we did before. Thank you. Arlo's the only one there making sense to me. That's all I'm saying. You know, Dr. Darren's my spirit animal, but you know, I know people be hating Aslo. What are they calling him? He's a goat. They're literally bullying people and act like they did nothing wrong. They did do better and never apologized. They just thought John was crazy. John is crazy though. All right, Zodiac. At least John only beat up people that could fight back.
Rightfully crazy though.
Huh?
That's fair. That is fair. They could fight. I mean, I don't know, like the way he was beating their asses because Classified is fighting back. But like, I hear you.
I don't know. I'm in the minority where I'm like, I don't think people like John is justice. I'm like, what? Listen, I don't know. I just hold them all to the same standard. You're all batshit, and you all are a part of the hierarchy problem issue. Blah blah. Yeah. So I just keep the same energy personally. But I am an Arlo fan. I admit that. Arlo, Dr. Darren, Arlo are my favorite characters in Unordinary. Bam.
It's one of those things. But it's like, why are you beating someone's ass like for like 4 weeks straight? Like, you can chill out, bro. Like, the points have gone across.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, this person said I'm talking about myself. It feels wrong for me. That means you have a code, and that is good. No, it's not. You're a coward, sir, ma'am, them. I agree. There have been times where people complain about the plot holes in Lay's chapters that get resolved. Where? I want an example. See, did someone ask for an example? No, Sloppy Joe, you should ask for an example, bro. That's when you ask for an example. That's exactly what you say. Give me an example. And watch them malfunction. Where? I'm sure it's happened though. But my point is, you have to give me some examples. But it's true that happens sometimes. But again, you can be like, this is a bad thing. In a couple of chapters, it proves you wrong, and all you have to do is have enough, like, be humble enough to be like, hey, I was wrong, or maybe I jumped the gun. I tell you guys I'm wrong all the time. As a matter of fact, half the time I'm wrong, I make a video telling you that I was wrong about Yash Ratchet. He's that guy. My fault. Or the Liboric stuff. Like, let me not make the same mistake. So I gave Liboric his credit before I said I'm Team Calivan. It's just that some people have too much ego and pride to be like, you know what? I was incorrect. And I'll be the first person to tell you, bro, I'm just on here talking about series that I like and whatnot. Do I think I'm very qualified because of my education and stuff? Because I did like journalism, English, storytelling, blah blah. Sure, but you know, I'm wrong. I'm wrong more often than I'm right. So I don't know, but I think some people are too sensitive. Like, oh damn it, if I don't double down, they'll think like I don't get that. So it's mad annoying, but. You gonna get on next time? More holes in a bowl of Cheerios? All right, let me see if there's anything else here. I'm not gonna go crazy. I don't want to think it'd be spoiled. See, you mentioned back blog post each chapter. This used to be canon, but it became something to change. The Baylor stuff got changed and stuff. But all right, I'm going to open up this section real quick. Might have to make this a bit smaller because this is actually the wiki. What's it called again? Something verse.
Yeah. Namu wiki.
Namu wiki. All right. So
there's no word.
Yeah. So here you can see the 25th night criticism, which is Bam or Chestnut, whatever, you know. Excuse me, I'll make my camera smaller. My bad. It's way too big for this part. Okay. So here we have the actual we have the actual thing here where like I have to use Google Translate, by the way, so it was in Korean and it got Google Translate, so obviously it's not going to be great English and stuff, but you can see here a bunch of the things that they were talking about. I don't know if it goes into certain territories, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but was there anything here that you kind of looked over? Lizard at all? I know Vince's not here, but I know you guys were saying something. You showed me the what was the part you told me to go to? The BAM criticism or something, or how things get better. Is all BAM. Right?
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Yeah, room for improvements 2.23. I think 2.24 is also a great one. And 2.27. No. Yeah. 2.29 false power balances and setting collapse, which is kind of, yeah. Oh, by the way, there might be a little bit of spoilers. I can tell you when they come up, but they're not like.
Yeah. Okay, just let me know. So look, for room for improvement, it says in conclusion, and remember this is badly translated because it's a Google Translate. There's no room for improvement until now, with only 3 parts being serialized for more than 100 episodes, and it's only getting worse and worse. And it is just hypocrisy and pretense that pretends to be just and reflects in every episode. A disgusting hypocrite whose self-defenses because he is growing mentally is neither a hero who will save the tower nor a demon king who will eat up the power of the tower in the current residents of the night. Don't look away. This is the bargain I pull to protest against rescue massacre, knowing that many people will die. To those people, I must be worse than the devil. That's right. So at least let's not tremble at the hypocrisy of presumptuously trying to save everybody like Mr. Dang Dang's time. In the same way, I will walk out making eye contact. Oh, is this when you look at all the bodies? This one looking at all the bodies during the okay. I remember this part. Yeah. I will say this for what I skimmed through. I do think there's certain things where like, yo, I'm on the ride, and then they go too far to go. Oh, I'm gonna hop off here. Like, this is my stop. Then like now you're going to a place. Anakin, you're going to a path I just can't follow type of beat. But a lot of stuff they say here, I understand. Like, it's frustrating to some degree. You know, it is what it is. Caliban holds himself. No, Caliban's the GOAT, man. What's going on? What's going on here? Caliban slander? I don't like this. Do you think there would be someone who isn't a 10 great family leader and is the same age as like Bam who can humble him or not? No, not anymore. At one point I was hoping for that, but I think we've gone past that. I think the biggest indicator is, do you guys remember who the first person to call Bam like truly weak and inept was? It was fucking Caliban, bro. That's who it took to tell you you're weak? You're not weak, bro. That's the equivalent of like, I think I'm nice at basketball or something. I'm going to come up and like, I don't even care if it's not like an all, like, no, I don't go too far, but like Jason Tatum tells me I'm not good because I can't beat him. It's Jason fucking Tatum. I'm nice. What are we talking about? I'm not trying to hear that. So yeah. Do you I don't let off the hook, but keep a spade a spade. All right, that's fair. See, I find a lot of John fans just put their cape on and he does no wrong. As long as you can admit that he's not perfect, I'm cool with that. That's all I ever asked for. They act like he just does no wrong, and that's been my issue. But yeah, John taking conscious people, that's not normal. There's gonna be someone who can humble Bam like smart F. I hope so. I don't know. I feel like Rachel's probably the only person weaker than him who can get the upper hand on Bam because of some mental, like, you know, stuff she has over him and whatnot. So I'll take the positive route 99 out of 10, 100 times. I respect it. Mr. Brightside all day. My boy Calvin keeps getting hold somewhat. I wanted him to fold that purple hair. Yeah, I did too. That was way too much text for me. I think I already heard every point worth from Naya and a few others. That's a lot of hypocrisy, Calvin. Spread. Hey, yo. I actually like Bam. Having hypocrisy is a flaw. I just wish it was actually called out. Yeah, that's really like being a hypocrite isn't a problem. It's like, what are you gonna do with it? So anyway, you can beat Jason Payton, to be honest. Oh, there you go. What's up? I love Jesus. But let me see. What was the other part you said that was interesting? I don't want to go through. I might go through this myself. I make a little separate video for this. But I'm my favorite this actually, because you know me, I'll forget. And go through this myself and talk about certain things, because I don't want to end up going into anything crazy. But Violet, I think they mean Violet, right?
Yeah, Violet.
Okay. It's like, ooh, Violet.
Compared.
But, okay. Let me just, for 1 second, I'm just going to go on this screen. I want to pull up my Twitter real quick from when I first initially posted this. Just to see, I want the part. I want Haku's comment because I really like Haku's comment. Where did I post this? Where's the force at? There. Wasn't it in the force? I think so. Oh, you know, I found Miles. There we go. Boom, got it. Okay. And we are bike. So, right, yeah. So I said we're gonna talk about this. Let me retweet this actually. Mm-hmm. And let me find Haku's comment. Actually, we can read everything here. People are finally waking up. 2G has problems, and you cannot just sit there and defend it. If people have been hating on 9 and the boys for pointing out those for years. Yes, we all love the series, but come on, you can only defend these things for so long. That's all I'm saying. Ooh, look at it! Look who it is again. I have given this a lot of thought, but I'm done thinking now. But because of the breadth of my conclusion, I won't say it. Some good points all around though. Took people a few years, but hey, we're here. Oh, they're definitely spinning when it comes to season 3. I don't know about the Hell Train arc though, so I gotta see. I think that's why I want to like actually go through this properly. But I want to maybe I'll go through it on a proper like raw stream, so I don't have to hold myself back. I will say Milios. I will say the Korean reader base has it lost its identity. Correct. Everything else I disagree with. Okay. Lazaro says Korean fan base is what some people think Naya is. LMAO. They seriously complain about everything and the dumbest shit. They literally complain about Bam not being on screen enough and shit. It's mostly a broken clock sort of thing when they are right. Okay, that's fair. I actually am like this divorced from that side of the community, so I don't know any better. So I'm not gonna act like I don't. Michael Walsh, I generally agree with it. Bit strange that the series feels somehow way too fast-paced due to power escalation and Bam speedrunning, as well as too slow-paced because of half of the nest being stuff you could possibly drastically shorten. That said, I want no name hunts slander. I like Name Hunt Station, one of my favorite arcs, so I'll never slander it like that. Jamarcus Cole says, as someone who, J. Cole, my fault. As someone who says who has issues with the series ever since the last station, this conversation needs to be had. I appreciate what SEO has done, but man, he needs to get his head back on track. So there we go. I found Haku's comment. Here we go. I think Tower of God is great now compared to the last station, the beginning of season 3, but a huge problem with something I mentioned a lot. Current Tower of God is not the same series as early Tower of God at all. If people fell in love with TOG for the creative games and the awesome concept of climbing the tower, which is what season 1 and early season 2 were built on, they're going to be massively disappointed that the series has not been about that in a long time and probably never will be again. And Joe said this is interesting, Dr. Bonehead. So I'm going to switch screens for a second here, but what do you guys think about that? Like that's like our main issue, I'd probably argue, right?
Yeah, that's my big. That's literally why I got into it.
Yeah, it's.
I like my test.
It's because it presented itself as a series that wouldn't be just about like, oh, I'm big, strong, bigger blast than you, and it's like, yo, we had a test that had nothing to do with any of that. As early as well, you guys know. I don't know if you guys, for anyone who's new here who's never heard me say this before, I think every series has the moment where it hooks you, where it's like, you may have been enjoying it, but there's a point where like, oh, this just happened? Yeah. Let me strap my seatbelt and I'm not getting off this ride. For me, it was Han Sung-Yu's examination when Shibisu completely figured out the test using this. Just his mind. Aguero was overthinking it, blah, 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 and Rack just kicked the door open and went through, and he learned that all you have to do is pick any door in 5 minutes, which is crazy. But that had nothing to do with ability, power, whatever. Just kind of like the willingness to make a decisive decision. So I'm like, okay, this will not be just about power. This is just about power. That's what the series became about. So it's just disheartening when you think about it that way. Because even the way that Aguero early on was able to kind of play around with Quans with the pulley lever again, I can't remember what it's called exactly. I'm sorry, what you're talking about though, with Ho and everything.
Yes.
Like that was like incredible stuff there. And Aguero had his moments, because I'm not gonna act like he hasn't had moments of like being pretty smart. I actually think I hate the sweet fish. I hate it. But the one instance of him using it I like is when he buffs that one ranker. So they get used to like the power buff, and it's like then he takes it away and like, wait, shit, what happened? And then he kind of gets rocked by the other, I think Mael, whatever his name was, or I can't remember the guy who threw the spear. I think I can't remember his name. That Houndborn, and then the way that Shibisu, I think, and Aguero work together to help Doom. Did they use Lefauve's bullet against him? I can't remember what they used against him, but remember for the Windbird family, Lopabia, the Windbird Corps, they use it to there's still moments like that for them, but generally speaking, it's just a little bit frustrating because you're like, this is just not the same series that we necessarily really like fell in love with. And if you guys have ever heard me complain about the Tower of God anime, that's my biggest issue. It feels like a very run-of-the-mill shonen anime. It doesn't capture any of the special, unique ambience that I got when I initially started reading Tower of God. The mystery, the feel, the me being just as lost as Bam because I have no idea what's going on. I'm just in this new tower kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we can all agree. I think Kuhn's character shines when he's not around Bam.
Yeah. It's kind of
and that's why
similar to Harley Quinn. Like I think Harley Quinn is much more interesting when she's not around the Joker. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, and like beginning of season 2 when we get those great moments where we flash back to Ubisu and his team, where you have like a lot of the old guys and like some of like his new people, and then Kun, where it's like Kun is getting this all-star team like put together, and it's like the whole thing of him trying to get Dan, and then him paying everybody in the room, and then him getting him in the corner, and all this because Dan's special thing was just speed.
Yeah.
And it's like, one, I think it's becoming more rare that like certain physical abilities can kind of be trained separately, where it's like, oh, this person, when he gets stronger, it's his speed, his defense, his attack just uniformly gets better. So like, it's rather than like, this guy's super strong, but he's slow. But like, seeing Dan and its speed, it's like, oh, this is interesting because in the world that SAU was set up, this could be important depending on the game, and we don't see the one test they do, but like it's like a few pages, but it's like Dan just literally rushes in between. I think it's like a capture the flag thing, and he goes underground and he just grabs the shit and comes back, and it's like, oh, just because he's fast, it's just simple things like that, and that was only like a preview of like a test we got, but that I think does more for what Tower of God was presented to be in the entirety.
Yeah. Well said, actually. Honestly, I agree with that. I want Rackers to go away. I'm tired of Chibi Rack. I just want Rack to matter, to be honest. I feel that.
Cracking over here.
Who just hopped in? Oh, shoot.
Popping over here.
What's going on? Yo, what's happening? How you doing, brother?
Yo, I'm chilling. Are you streaming right now?
Yeah. We're talking. I was just so I don't know if you've seen, but Korea's been down on TOG, so I was going through like how Korea was going in on BAM and going in on Tower of God and how they weren't feeling it. So
that's crazy. So is it gonna get an axe ending, or is he gonna?
I don't know about all that because I still think it makes a lot of money and stuff like that. And there's still like as much as some people criticize it, there's like people who have the SIU cape on at all times, but it was interesting just to see that like the I guess the native speaking community are like, bro, what's going on with my series? So. Vindication.
True.
Yeah. How you been though?
Nothing, bro. Just chilling, getting ready for my boy's wedding.
Okay.
Fucking the shit starts tomorrow, bro.
Oh.
4-day wedding thing.
Oh, okay. This guy was going to weddings. This guy's always going to weddings. I need to start going to more weddings. I'm always going to funerals, man. I'm tired of this shit.
Bro, I went to a funeral the other day too for my girl's grandma. It wasn't it still?
My condolences.
Yeah, man. Thanks. It wasn't it? I'm gonna come check you. After the wedding shenanigans still. So I'll probably come check you. Let me see right now. I'll probably come on the 9th or the 10th. Right. If I have a ball game, because I'm in a league, if I have a ball game on the 10th, I'll come on the 9th.
I'll come to the game. Just tell me where it is.
It's gonna be deep, but it might be deep. Okay, but all right, cool.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
just let me know.
All right, no.
I'll let you.
Yeah.
It's like my IRL friend, like lives like 20 minutes from me, not even. So,
Oh.
yeah. True Chibi Records with tragedy and Mr. Big Man. Would you mess with Bam more if he later on gets a small god complex, not to the master give him lead? I would personally, like, if you really want to make this like Bam stays good when he amasses his power, I think you need a moment where he starts to cave in a little bit. Even if he doesn't fall all the way in, I think you need a moment of him getting a little power hungry or getting addicted to it or letting it change him, and maybe someone sets him straight. I think that would make his internal conflict a little more compelling, personally speaking. The series have been dropping and turning folly for a long time, to be honest. During Bam's training, I would love to see a few dozen chapters of him catching up with all the other characters. Yeah, it'd be nice. Haku was right. I don't think it's bad to be different. Just the difference has to be enjoyable and as much more than it was. Yeah, I agree with that. The same thing happened with GOH the Gamer and Hardcore Leveling Warrior. That's fair. It's a goddamn shame what happened when God of High School. Well, that's not the one. I'm not I dropped God of High School pretty early. Like, I heard it was like a huge reset and stuff. I don't want to spoil anybody, but like for me, it was. Sorry, what was that second? It's the second tournament. It had a guy with the backwards cap, and he had like the 3 treasures of the Japan's regalia as his ability, and it was this Jin Mori clone. Like a little after that, and like the closer the clone was to Jin Mori, I believe, the stronger it was, or the further away it was weaker, and it was having like identity crisis, and I just lost interest. And I just stopped caring.
Mori Huey, that's my guy. Great character.
The part of God of High School I like the most is the beginning with like that other Taekwondo guy. I like that. That's my favorite part. But pretty much the last thing I really like is there was the green hair dude who had the ability. I can't remember what they're called, like Churioks or something, like the abilities in that world. He could take them, and I think he took Park Pyo 2 with the key, with the QB or something. I think he took his ability and stuff. Like that's like the last section I really, really enjoyed. I kept going for a bit, and I just stopped caring at one point, personally speaking. You think I should?
I personally still love the series a lot.
That's fine.
I think this is what I will say. One, I think people are often misconceived. Tower of God God of High School has never lied about what it is.
I agree with that.
Gods and their powers and everything have, like, the very first scene in God of High School is Mu Bong destroying an island with his hand. Mm-hmm. That's the first scene. Like, in the title's God of High School. This was set up from jump. Mori Jin's identity was there from the beginning. There are good hints of like what he really is in the initial tournament. So for me, everything's fine. I think the scaling's fine for the most part. Mori Jin is actually taken out of the story quite a bit, which you can either enjoy or dislike. I enjoy it. Mori Huey I think is good because like I don't think I've ever seen like a clone be so distinctly different from like its originator and have such a personality. And of course, you know me, I think God of High School has one of the best action flowing sequences, like with Goshu.
Goshu was amazing.
And yeah. And the current
Dumpling boy,
villain, I think, my boy got a little gut, but he was going crazy. And I think the overall main villain of God of High School, I think he's phenomenally done. And I think his parallels are great. I have high praises. Now, I will say Tower of God, I think, or God of High School, Jesus, they both have God in their name. God of High School does have its pacing issues.
Okay, go ahead.
I definitely think it has its pacing issues, and there's certain points where it's kind of like, okay, we could probably have been done by now. But that's to me, that's every single fucking like webtoon I read, so I just stopped kind of caring.
Yeah, a lot of them tend to
it's
lose.
still one of my favorites.
A lot of those like they lose, especially the ones with a really big slice of life component or element. They have no direction for like a solid like year plus for at some point.
Yeah.
Even the ones that I really love, like I love Girls of the Wild. I really do. I had a great time. That series was aimless for like on like 160 chapters. They were just going to the beach and doing a bunch of shit. I was just saying, like, up until him like trying to get stronger, the bully, blah blah blah. But like, it is what it is. So I feel you on that. I don't like fight against reality sometimes. So it is what it is. What was I saying? The TOG anime is really interesting. I keep hearing so much praise from it from people who never read the original material. I'm glad to hear it, but it's kind of odd, you know. I feel that. Couldn't really the 80 to Bam's LeBron. We need more creative powers, to be honest, like curse powers, JJK, Nan ability, and Hunter stands in JoJo. JoJo stands go crazy. The reason fights are so good in those because they have so much different and creative abilities. Meanwhile, Tower, yes, you know I call Tower God Tower of Beams a lot. You have different color beams, fire beam, ice beam, and stuff like that. But I agree. That's why I really liked when Charlie came with white noise and stole someone's senses. Jordan had this ability that locked onto you, like a one-shot, one kill. You had that like furry beast arm, ceiling capability. Like anytime I see someone has a power that's not just like destructive capabilities, it moves me. That's why Yama's like, I call it a passive ability. It's the fear mongering thing where it's like if you're scared of him, you just can't hurt him. I love shit like that. That really to me makes series a lot more interesting. But I do think you have to have a better handle of how to like write in and around those things. So if you're not too good at that, I understand you keeping your abilities very simple. Something like Dragon Ball. That doesn't make Dragon Ball bad because it's simple. Dragon Ball is punch hard, punch fast, ki blast for the most part. But Tower of God, Shinsu was limitless, and Shinsu is everything and creates everything and is like so it's like to me it's like he didn't box himself in. So I'm like, okay, like Shinsu's about to be so creative, and like for a long time to me it wasn't. That's why I definitely really appreciate the Hidden Floor where they talk about I like saying it the way Godai said it way back in the day. I know Shinsu quality, but I like calling it Shinsu property conversion. Like I thought that shit was really cool when you're learning about your Shinsu shape and quality. I was very into that. I liked it because I thought it was time for stuff like that. So many new characters I don't give a shit about. Honestly, might as well replace Kun and Rock with Hansung and Cha. I mean, I feel it wasn't it still. Yeah, feels were not fun. I was super page GD Crouch system, but it's a lot of words with little meaning. I'm kind of with you on that, Barry. I really don't have smoke with JJK. I know I make fun of it. I call it Jigaboo Kaisen, Jujuju Badabu Dudu Bada Dudu, but like it's like very whatever to me. But I'm not as big on like the abilities as some other people are. I think it's like mad great. Like it's alright, man. It's pretty run of the mill to me personally speaking. But you know, if you like JJK, good for you. I'm not mad at that.
I think JJK is just really fun.
Okay.
No, they did disrespect a lot of my characters I like by killing a lot of people off. But you know, that's why I'm out. Man, being a regular mindset could change things. True. Oh yeah. Mori, always talk about the Mori Huey guy. Taekwondo, Taekwondo are my favorite. That was my. No, I want you to. I don't know. I'm not strong enough for that, man. Believe in myself. All right, fine. He said believe in myself. Very, very well. Dropped it after Ragnarok. Lost my will and energy. Felt like a bunch of nothing was happening. Girls with a Vibe was peak, man. Best girl in the window. It was best girl for you. I like Moon Young was my favorite. Moon Young and not there was the girl with in the all black with the blonde hair, not Queen. She used to be one of the like combatants, and like she came back as like an alumni, and one of the she's bad, bro. I used to be when I first started it, I was a Dal stan. The cat ears were moving me. I think you could say to me I was a stan, yo. Well, like nah. But then I matured, like, nah, Moon Young is raw. It's raw. Upcoming arc is about to happen. It's going to be full of tests. We'll see. I hope so. You weren't lying about the crazy OP theories. I just saw a video saying Ben Beckman is Robin's father. Oh, my Lord.
What if he is, though? You know?
Oh, my God. What's going on? Liborg's water vapor was cool as well. Actually, it really was. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. That was actually dope. Now, it powered up Calivan, which is interesting. I think we need to talk about that and like revisit it. Is that a thing? Like if I'm a fire user and a Vancast like, flame orb, I'm like plus 85 HP. Like you just healed me, like buffed me. Like how does that work? So I hear you though. That was dope. One Piece theory people should talk about a Shanks crew being people up. That's crazy. JoJo has the best abilities. I actually kind of agree with that in a lot of ways, especially for like shonen jump specifically. We could talk about that though. What's that Buggy's Awakening and how to spin into items?
JoJo abilities be pissing me off sometimes though.
There's some of them I'm like Araki. What? But like Like, there's the one
me,
Infamous one
only
of Part
guy-
6 is Stone Ocean where I'm like Araki. Even I'm like, come on, dog. But go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a few at Stone Ocean, but I think my biggest one that I have the biggest issues with is 100% like Big. Oh my gosh, I hate that stand.
I've always found that one's funny because I'm like, how did he know? You have to die for it to work. How could you possibly
Like,
know your
That's what I'm
ability?
saying.
You can't
You
train this.
die-
You can't practice. How do you know you have a stand, my nigga? Like what? No, I feel that one. That one was funny as hell though. It's funny though. It's like a JoJo
It's
thing.
like there's really like nothing you could do. Like you have to drop that bitch in the ocean. That's so like.
No, that one was funny. I definitely feel you on that. I remember scratching my head like, huh? Oh man. Robin is Ben Beckman's father. Now we're really thinking intelligently. now we're doing what we gotta do. I can't take JoJo seriously. I don't think JoJo's for everybody. I think it's an acquired taste, but it's quite literally like right up my alley. I fucking love JoJo. Like it's like Araki is my favorite mangaka. If you guys don't know that. I like the Caliban chain reaction thing more. If the Shinsu types had been more interactive early in the series, you kind of think was it like jarring for you, like it was for me. Like we never had an instance of that, so I'm kind of here. I'm kind of there with you. And if it wasn't a mistake, let me not say that. JoJo abilities be like, I shit your hand disappear. Yo, what? What's going on? Oh shoot, I need a J. Cole stand. Hey, yo, I'll be sick. Friday Night Lights or like, I don't know, Born a Sinner. I don't know, something wrong like that. Do you think Zoro should trade Sandai for Nidai? I don't think I care. Wait, is Sandai the one? Is Sandai the one that he got from Kuina or whatever? Is that one? What's the one?
Sandai
Wano Ichimo.
Kitetsu, but yeah, Wado Ichimoji is what he got.
Oh, then I don't care. Yeah, the only one he needs to keep is the one that he got from like Kuina. Crocodiles route up to Luffy. Facts. Go ahead.
Wait, which one's Nidai?
I'll take care of Keter.
That's
the. I forget which one's which.
Yeah.
I think he had Sandai.
Yeah, he has Sandai, and I think Nidai was the one that Luffy took from
Yes.
Well, now he knows Odin's dad, but yeah.
Yeah.
So. But all right. Yeah. Do you have any final comments on Tower God thingamajig?
Absolutely.
Again. Yeah, go ahead. If you're gonna say something.
No, I was just saying, hey man, everybody's coming around to our ways.
Yeah, I just want to have all I want to do is have an honest discussion about it. And there's still going to be a plethora of abilities and things that I like and love and care about. And I still want to see and whatnot, but it's just not perfect, and that's okay. And it's not as great as it once was, but this was good. I like this. This was dope. I'm gonna leave it at that for there. Shout out to the Patreon gang, yes sir. Shout out to my CBL, the certified BAM lovers, and my priests of fire. But especially to the Fifth Zen gods. Shout out to Triss, Abdel, AJ, Alan, Bloody Winters, Childish, Nujabes, David Langstaff, Irene Sharda, Jamarcus Cole, Cayenne, Chris, Lazy Dragon, Lucky Roo, Miles, Revenant, Scobe, Simi, and Sunny Kathapali. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.